One of the things I want to get into you with is this idea of beauty from the inside out, looking at what we're putting into our body that then is reflected on the outside in our skin. And I posted on it today that we sometimes look what we could add into our bodies rather than what we could remove. We have so many chemicals, so many toxins now, just in our regular supply, or food supply, air, water supply, everything. And I think we're inundated. And you just said it, we need less crap in our body, right? So, how important is the idea of detoxification for anyone going through any anti aging regimen? And how much priority do you give it when looking at someone working with a client and trying to get them the optimal results?
All right, well, let's just think of, a typical client that I'll see that has diffuse redness to the cheeks, nose. Maybe they've been told they have rosacea, or they have periocular edema, so puffy eyes, right? Allergy season, they just, have eye irritation. It's a mucous membrane. I find that the skin and the eyes are one of the first places to show inner inflammation. So, depending on whether or not a client's receptive to it, I will recommend that they test and don't guess what foods may be helpful for them. And there's a lot of excellent test kits out there, either epigenetics, gene type swab test kits, or stool sample test kits that are more affordable than ever and easy to access. And still a lot of Western docs still don't know about like the advancements in the at-home testing, which allows us as the consumer to then have a readout on our app or report or however that looks and be able to make our food choices that way. And then you can retest and, see what changes you've been able to make on an epigenetic level. But that's really kind of step one. If you're noticing accelerated signs of aging or periocular edema, redness around the eyes, on the skin, melasma, those are definitely things to look into a little bit further. And that's, certainly what I advise my clients to do when I meet with them, kind of help them figure out, okay, maybe try this test kit and then see what information you get from that, which is so key. And in terms of detoxification, one of the ways I detox myself is getting my off-grid days. So I'll either hop in my Jeep, which is like it's an analog Jeep. It's leaking fluids from every single gasket. It's almost as old as I am, but I still love it. There's nothing better. Okay. I also grew up around vehicles, taking apart motors in high school, motocross, all that stuff. My dad took me to car shows as soon as I could walk. So I've always been a bit of a petrol head, motor head, whatever you want to call it. If you're from the UK, they make fun of us for calling gasoline. They're like, it's petrol. So yes, I have had to do, bush repairs on my vehicle for the radiator and all that cool stuff. But so that's one of the ways I detox is I'll just completely get myself out of cell reception for a good 3 hours, like out of cell reception. So I'm 3 hours in the bush, 3 hours back, get in cold flowing water out there as well. So I've found that is a really great way for me to detox, and I see it in my skin, just the clarity. And then I can come back and it's almost just like I've had that day of regeneration, because I feel like my body, mind, spirit, and energy aren't working so hard to get rid of all of the other physiological impacts, like gluing of our red blood cells when we're exposed to things like EMFs, and just sometimes even getting away from people and their thought forms too, right? It can
Of
be
course.
good.